So we've gone through clothing, we've gone through gear. Now let's take a look at where we are actually. I will tell you we're in one of the state national forest areas. You don't actually need a permit to come out here and look for mushrooms. Not chanterelles, they're all over the place actually. They're really easy to find. Let's take a look at some of the scenery that we've got around here. You'll notice that I'm kind of in a mixed area. I think my tree identification is not very good, so I'm thinking these are Douglas fir, but I will check in later on that. You'll notice there's a little bit of ground cover here. The big thing for chanterelles actually is this plant right here, which is called Chanterelle. You'll notice those kind of oval or those almond-shaped leaves on it, and this is a great ground cover. You'll also notice down there on the ground there's a little bit of moss around. So if I see Chanterelle and I see moss and I see trees like this, that usually means during the right season that I'm going to find some chanterelles. Now I've done a little pre-scouting here, and I've actually spotted some, and let's see if you can see them too. They are out there. All right, and I'll show you where they are and how it works. So I'm walking my way through the forest as carefully as possible. Keep your eyes scanning the ground. Tell me if you spot something. There we go. You'll see over here, underneath this branch, that is a chanterelle. Now, one of the things when you find a chanterelle, see how it's all covered up? A lot of them come up like that. The first thing that I recommend you do is that you just stop and look around. Don't go right to it. And the reason you should look around is because where you find one, you'll often find others. So if I look around kind of quickly, I notice under this, there's 3 there. There's another one up over here. And actually the big spot is over here in this side. There are actually some pretty big ones. Right down in there, if you can see those. So if you spot one, you can usually find several in the same area, which is always a nice thing. So, picking the chanterelle. Clear away the growth here a little bit as carefully as possible. These are in really good shape because it's early in the season. You will see we can get right down in there. Wow, those are beautiful. And what I can do is, oh, the Chanterelle's blocking the way. What I can do is I can literally just pluck them out of the ground like that. You'll see they've got that beautiful shape. Those are the gills on that. That's the cone. And I'm going to pluck all 3 of these. You know, I don't know about the taste for young ones versus older ones. These are so clean. It's really great. They'll often grow in groups of 2 or 3. But the next step in field cleaning is actually to just trim off the bottom part. I usually take, let's see if I can do this with this camera. I'm sorry if the focus is a little off. You know what I'll usually do is just take my knife and I'll cut off the very tip, and I'll just leave that back where I found the mushroom. You'll see there's a little bit of dirt there. When I talked about field cleaning earlier, what you're going to want to do is either take your brush or take your knife and get that little bit of dirt off, because that will get on the other mushrooms. So one of the nice things about chanterelles is each one is like a piece of coral, and you'll notice that you get these really interesting caps on them. They're all kind of warped like that. This is, you know, a couple ways to identify chanterelles. Obviously the color stands out, the cap design, and if you look at those gills, they're not fully formed. They're kind of, I don't know, folds more than they are gills. Which is really interesting. Not bad for my first stop. I think I've picked about half a pound to a pound of chanterelles. They were all within about 15 feet of each other. I found this beauty. A lot of it was underneath the moss on the ground. Now there's another important factor when you're identifying chanterelles. Look at the stem on this one. You'll notice that it's very stringy, kind of like string cheese. It's not hollow at all. There's something that kind of looks like a chanterelle. It's kind of flimsier. But that one has a hollow stem, and you do not want to eat those. These ones are very solid, stringy, meaty kind of feel to them. So that's what the chanterelle looks like. But again, these are fantastic for early September. Again, half a pound to a pound of chanterelles is a good haul for the first stop. I have a good feeling about filling up my basket. Also, these are pretty big. This one, no, you'll notice a little chewed up. Nothing wrong with that. We can clean some of that off when we get back home. And that does happen to them because they are growing out here in the woods. But that's been around for a little while. You can see it's a little more frayed on the edges. The young ones have kind of that rounded, a little more rounded cap to them. Like this one's a little younger, I guess. All right, time for some field training. One of the things about spotting chanterelles is you need to get a visual template about the color and the texture and how they differ from what's on the forest floor normally. So I found a spot up here, and there's several. Let's see if you can see them. And this is what you'll be doing. You'll be walking along and scanning. I put my basket out just for reference. Now if you look right down here, you'll see there's one right here on the forest floor, hidden by a little bit of moss. Over here, you'll see there's one right up in here underneath that branch. There's a couple darker colored ones up here. And this is the nice one, actually, of the group. Underneath this Chanterelle, there's a nice big one hidden in the moss there. And I wouldn't be surprised if there are a couple more hidden around here at the base of the tree. But those are some easily spotted ones and easily harvested. Now here's a mushroom that you'll sometimes find when you're looking for chanterelles. This is a nice big russula. There's a variety of different types of russulas, but you can tell it's got that reddish color top. We're gonna pull it. Now look at that. See how the gills are on the bottom of that? How they're much deeper and knife-like? And the stalk actually is kind of like chalk. You can break it really quickly, and the chanterelles is not that easy. So that is a russula. This is a chanterelle. Different. Russula, chanterelle. Don't mistake them. And the other thing is, you know, mushrooms are like apples. They're the fruit of the body that grows under the mycelium that grows underneath the ground here. So I picked this one. I don't feel that bad about it. The spores are still gonna get to the ground there. It should be fine. So it should be all right. And they'll grow in the same spot again next year. As you can see, hunting for mushrooms can be really hot work. So it's important to stay hydrated. Make sure you bring some water or something else to drink with you. Not having a lot of luck right here, but it's a really pretty spot. I think later in the season, this is going to be a great place to be. You'll notice that there is Chanterelle here, but the underbrush is really low. And don't forget to take your time to look around, because it's just really pretty, and that's one of the beauties of picking mushrooms, is just getting to some really amazing spots. So definitely take your time when you're looking around.